So,
to fetch some.
what's actually happening at craft? What are you doing in your craft week?
Oh, okay. So London Craft Week. First of all, we have to tidy up, so everyone can get in. People can wander in off the street if they happen to be nearby, and which is great. We'll have a sign up, but just not too far out so that nobody falls over it. We have 10 workshops during the week, and they are 2-hour workshops each, and we'll be talking about sustainability. I was at an IFRA Zoom today. It's called SSBD, Safety and Sustainability by Design. That's the EU thing. Let's all be thinking about it. It's not by accident, it's on purpose. Let's all work towards that. So we're going to be talking about the fragrance materials that we can use, which we'll be able to use in future because they are all safe and lovely.
Lovely.
That's what's happening. So between the 8th and the 14th of May. And then, if nobody's seen this film by then and they only see it next year, it'll probably be the 7th till the 13th of, did I say July? May. It's in May.
What's that? I can see a material over there, just talking on a tangent, called amethhyl actuate.
Can you fetch it and then I'll...
What is it?
I need those other...
Anisyl
acetate.
Anisyl acetate.
Yes, you can. Somebody on Saturday wondered if I had anisyl something else and I didn't. So I fetched them this. It smells of...
it's very fruity.
Isn't it just? I would say probably raspberries.
Yeah,
also it's a bit plummy as well.
Yeah, but in a like a bubblegum way. Yeah. It doesn't smell like the actual fruit. It smells like a recreation of the fruit.
Acetates can get quite bubblegummy, I would say. The phenylethyl phenyl acetate, which is that honey smell, it always smells chewy. So I've got the lavender out from...
Great.
But I need to fetch some other things. They're only here, so I'm not going far. But they're the...
This is great. We're not saying anything, and there's nothing going on.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything, and there's... Oh, I'm making
noises.
This
is like... it's like the modern art version of a...
Which is exactly what AI said we did. We sing songs, we do poetry, and we do modern art in our films. That said that. But that's only because it didn't actually know as it was making it up as it went along. I'm now going to disappear and get a... Oh, I could use that. I can make a perfume in that.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be a good perfume.
Weighs 142 grams, 0.23.
142. 42. We're in number 42 right now.
We are. We can take off 100. This is such a squeaky chair. We're only going to notice when we play it back. It's the kind of thing you don't notice when you're in the room. The squeaky chairs. Okay.
There are loads of chairs in here.
I know. Why did I pick the squeaky? I could get those different ones.
Do you want this one?
Then why don't I just see if I can, as an exercise, see if I can sit still.
All right.
I'm going to go for it. So. The definition of sloth is choosing to try to sit still for 20 minutes rather than just be asked to get up and change chairs.
Yes.
It's making life much more complicated and hard for yourself rather than just doing a thing that needs doing.
Yeah.
Apparently that is sloth. It's not laziness, it's different.
Yeah.
And it looks not lazy, but actually it is. I have some of the Bulgarian materials here, and they include some roses, because I'm going to pick them, and I just thought it would be interesting to make some accords with them.
Brilliant.
Like, how would we go about doing that thing? So if I pick something... Pick two things which are similar, let's say, in texture. So, the lavender and the melissa.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the lavender and the melissa so that you can say to yourself, I could do the the film about the 3-strip test has okay.
Oh, you're doing the 3-strip test, are we?
Yeah, so you don't know how many I've done of one and how many I've done.
Well,
of
I know
the
how
other.
many you've just done of that one because I saw.
Oh,
But I
do
didn't
you?
see.
Are you sure?
Okay, yeah, maybe you were.
I could have been kidding.
Yeah, maybe you were.
Maybe I was. So the 3-strip test is when what you do is 2 of one and 1 of another one, and then you give it to your person who is learning perfumery to see if they can identify which is which. And actually what I'm doing is doing 2 part 1, 1 part of another to see what happens. Accidentally. So there you go.
That is lavender.
Okay.
That is melissa. That is lavender.
Well, I actually did 2 melissas and 1 lavender.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Did you really?
Yes.
No, you didn't.
I did. I did. So maybe.
That's lavender.
Yes.
Okay, I can get on board with it now. Those 2 are
Okay.
melissa then.
All right. Fine. Are you keeping them? Or
No, I don't mind. So you go.
Okay, I've done that thing. But then while I was wafting them, I was thinking actually that
Oh, lovely, aren't they?
yeah, they are. And if you waft them all together, there's a very interesting something else that comes off them for me. So these are natural essential oils.
It's very
That one.
citrusy.
It is. It is. The melissa kind of almost boosts the lavender's citrusiness, but lavender quite often boosts citrusiness of citruses. So what I've put on this is 2 drops of melissa and 1 of lavender, but the lavender is twice the strength because the melissa has a bit of a habit of taking over.
So it's equal parts then.
It's equal parts. And I still find, weirdly, I wasn't expecting this. I find the lavender to be winning, but let's see what you think. So, I've hardly used melissa in anything ever, so
Well, I think you should.
I
It's
should,
lovely.
and also I do want to test it with a few things. It's all the citruses and all the herbs that smell citrusy are always going to be restricted because
Yes.
they have
Citral.
yes,
And
limonene.
Limonene,
is one of the
limonene.
things which is one of the issues that quite often linalool oil as well. Yeah, limonene is tricky, but yes. And then I would come back to this and go on and see how it's progressing. If I were to spend, if we had 8 hours filming, then we'd come back and continue to come back and revisit. But I'm going to make a melissa lavender accord because you never know. Exactly. Even though the paper it's an idea, but I'm not weighing it, so I'm going to weigh this. These 1 squirt is usually, it's always in the region of pretty nearly almost 0.5 grams. Okay. That's how much these things squirt. This happens to be 0.52. So I'm going to put in 2 grams, which is not quite 4 squirts of the melissa, and the next thing I do is put the lid back on and write it down. So I will write in column 1 melissa essential oil at 5%. I know it's in ethanol because I'm not using anything else, but if I was using something different I'd write down what it is. 2 grams. And I'm going to then as well write down. The lavender I'm going to put in, essential oil, at 10%. And I'm going to put in 1 gram because at equal parts they smell okay. I would, you know, if I had 12 years following on from the previous film, if I had 12 years to make fragrance, I would do every single combination of this to work out what's best. But for the purposes of demonstration, I'm putting 1 gram.
Mm-hmm.
See how it goes. Now, I want to explore the helichrysum essential oil because this is also known as everlasting flower. And it's because when it grows, when it sort of dries out naturally, it's a little yellow crispy flower, and it gets used quite often in dried flower arrangements because it dries, which is why it's called everlasting flower. It's like a very herbal honey.
It is exactly that.
Isn't that good?
VHH.
Yes. The VHH accord.
Oh wow, yeah.
I've gone and written that down instead of helichrysum.
You've written it very...
Yeah, very herbal honey, helichrysum. Now I put that at 10%. It has elegance and richness.
real complexity.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
It is a bit. Now here's the thing. I think it will go really beautifully with the Tobacco Absolute that I have here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that, I mean, somebody might say, well, how do you know? And what do you mean? Why would you think that? But that's just years of messing about with lots of different materials, and I have just...
I can see how that would work.
I feel that it would work.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check quantities. I'm just going to put that back in so it doesn't start evaporating. Because that's the thing about it, you put stuff in ethanol,
Mm-hmm.
I think it just evaporates while you're looking at it.
That is amazing tobacco.
It's nice, isn't it?
That's the best tobacco I've ever smelt.
And this is the tobacco from Rose Overdosed, the people I'm going out to visit next month. In fact...
It's really
yeah,
fruity.
Yeah. I
Oh, wow.
usually have a Turkish tobacco, I think. But this one is Bulgarian. Yeah, a Turkish
Oh, yeah.
blonde.
And there's like a... And I mean this in a really good way.
Do it.
It's a bit manure-y. But I mean, like, you know the nice bit of manure?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you smell it like, oh, that smells quite nice.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The whole... Well, the silage thing, you know, silage as opposed to sillage. Silage is made out of sort of mushed up hay that's gone... it's fermented.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's coumarin again. So I think they overlap in that way. So,
Wow, yeah, really good.
helichrysum tobacco, though, I feel that their mutual sweetnesses might work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They really do.
So then, yes, a little waft on the strip. No, we haven't put equal amounts. There's a drip, but we don't know how big the drips are. So this just gives a general idea.
Oh,
But yeah.
yes.
There's something else happening there. I think it smells like rubber Wellington boots, brand new rubber Wellington boots.
Yeah.
In a good way.
It's a bit fizzy.
Okay. Right, smell that then.
Really good.
And so that is the helichrysum, which is at 10%. Tobacco, I tend to keep my absolutes at 5% because they they go a long way.
Mm.
They last well. So when I'm working with them, I don't have them particularly strong so that they don't get carried away. Now then, we have... Ooh, I'm not sure I put these in the same... I've got one nostril, one up the other. I'm not sure I would put those two blends in the same perfume even. I mean, I might, but to me they don't sound like they're playing in the same bands.
Well, I couldn't disagree with you more.
Okay, well in that case I'm just going to do it.
I think that they're in the same field.
Okay.
Look, I know nothing.
But I sometimes just know enough to get it wrong.
Well, no, but this is where taste comes in, because I smell those things together. Like, there's no right or wrong answer to this. Mm-hmm. I smell those things together and I go, wow. I like it.
Mm-hmm. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to double the quantities of tobacco and very herbal honey. Helichrysum, though.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Because I'm really easily influenced. No, because I'm.
Well, let's have a.
This is what it's for. I'm going to spend the rest of the week doing this. You see, this is my task this week, is to create original and interesting formulas with these materials, which is why I got sent them in the first place. So they're mine to do with as I wish. Are
you to make these formulas using exclusively these materials?
No, we've got a list of other materials as well, all of which are recyclable. I need to wipe that off because I still do. Not recyclable, I mean sustainable and biodegradable. But all of which will be available on the course I am teaching, which is booked up, so I'm not advertising it, I'm just saying it's happening. But I want to do some, like, if I say good work, I want to put the effort in to make sure that I have some example formulas that will work nicely for the students, because otherwise it would be a shame. I'm going to put in, I feel less tobacco than I had originally planned, because it just, I don't want to wish that I hadn't. So that's 1 gram of tobacco at 5%, and afterwards I will add, even though we were talking about vintage style earlier. That's a little bit need to see the doctor, but the tobacco needs filtering. That's all. Oh no, it's the Melissa. The Melissa's so it's quite cloudy. So this is it's 2 planets actually. I'm going to bung some rose in. I say bung. That will give the wrong impression. What I want to do. Now I'm only going to dip pointy ones in because I don't want to ruin the proportions. But if I just dip a tiny bit in, we'll get an idea, and very little will be taken out. This is the thing where if people are working in 0.01 grams and you dip something in to see what it's like, then it's all gone to pot. The proportions are ruined.
Oh yes.
And if I were to say to somebody, say if I took this downstairs to John and said, "What do you think's in this?" I would hope he wouldn't know. Yeah,
because it smells complete. Not complete. It smells like they've come together.
Yeah.
This
is what I'm after. I'm always after balance of a certain Right, and you are right, of course. Putting the two together, it's great.
It's a harvest festival.
It is, isn't it? Do you know what it's missing? Given that we're going to Bulgaria?
It is missing coumarin. No, vanillin.
What,
Rose.
What course am I taking?
Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's missing rose.
It's missing rose. Yeah. that's the one.
Benzyl salicylate. It's missing.
It's missing benzyl salicylate. It's missing suntan lotion. I'm going to put rose in.
Yeah, go on then.
And this is going to be my three small planets. But these are actually massive planets because they're all naturals. And a natural... Oh, the rook's here. Excellent. Naturals are planets of themselves. So... If I just took the Rose Absolute Rose Essential Oil and Isoe Super, it's like, boom, made a perfume. But I'm not going to. I'm going to put it in here. I'm just going to decide. You've smelt these earlier today in a previous film. What's smell them again? Right, here's the Rose Otto.
Oh, yeah.
So it smells better now, though, because it's been on the strip a little while. It's beginning to leak off. That's
Rose. Rose, rose, rose. Lovely, lovely rose.
And yet, I don't know, you have a certain doubt in your voice, I feel, Arthur.
I just have never drawn to rose. But you have proved me, I think in one video I said I didn't like it, and then you proved me wrong, because you just gave it me in a context to which I did like it.
Yeah. I think that happens to a lot of people.
I think it's to do with my association to, like, I think my granny used to have lots of rose flavoured soap.
I was going to mention grannies and soap, but I thought I'd just wait until it popped up by itself. Yeah.
So I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think it always depends on the relationship with your granny, how one feels about rose. There you go. Right, and that is the rose. This is the Rose Otto, which is the...
And this is Rose Absolute.
This is Rose Absolute. Oh God, that's the Otto from India. This is the Absolute from Bulgaria, and...
I really like this Absolute.
Yeah. It's
more lavendery.
Yeah, it's fresh.
Fresher.
So this is the Rose Essential Oil is the same thing as Rose Otto, by the way. It means also the word came from attar originally. So I think I've got hay fever too.
Yes.
Or I've just psychosomatically picking it up from you. So this is the Bulgarian Rose Essential Oil.
It's really nice.
That was actually an excellent spinal twist you were doing. In
really?
In the background, that Arthur was just doing this complete, 90 degree. It's quite, that's quite good going. I do like a spinal twist.
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I need to go further now. There we go.
Yeah. We should start just doing yoga videos, Arthur. Yeah. This is. Would it be too far to go say this is actually outstanding?
I don't think it would be going too far. I'm not a fan of rose, yet I am a fan of this rose.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So we diluted it a couple of weeks ago. It's just the crystals are. You can still see some of the crystals in this essential oil. It's taken a while for it to dissolve completely in the ethanol.
It's really good.
Yeah. I've never even had this much before. I mean, this is not this much. This is 5%. But even then, I've never owned more than a gram at a time.
It needs to join our Harvest Festival.
I think it does. Okay. And we would use Rose Absolute and Rose Essential Oil.
Oh, hang on a minute. What was the...
What?
The first one you just showed me of the Bulgarian ones was the Absolute.
Absolute, yeah.
I think...
See, in my head, they're going, the absolute is, and the essential oil is, so, in the key of,
The absolute smells creamier to me.
yeah.
Whatever that means.
The essential oil is, yes, whatever that means. So that phrase just is forever associated. There was this Prince Charles on the steps of the palace when he got engaged to Diana, and somebody from the press shouted, "Are you in love, sir?" And he went, "Oh, love, whatever that means." He was just like,
Wow.
I know, it was just a portent of terrible things to come. So
Yeah.
when whatever that means, the phrase for me is like,
Yeah.
why would you say that?
Yeah. On the day of your wedding?
Well, it was the engagement. It was when she
Wow.
turned up on the steps looking, oh, here's my lovely ring. It's like,
Wow.
in love, whatever that means.
God.
know.
I'd go, don't want to marry you anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the point at which you turn around and go, I'm off, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
However. Anyway, creamy, whatever that means.
Yeah.
It
is creamier. And the essential
Yes.
oil is fresher though. It smells.
Yes, it is, and that's sort of what's supposed to happen. But it's very difficult to get the aromatic materials out of the rose at heat without damaging them, which is why rose essential oil is so expensive.
Right.
You don't get a lot. So, it might not be permitted in future because it's a terrible waste of agricultural land. And yet, it is so beautiful. But at the point at which we need it for carrots, then carrots it will be. I'm going to add Rose Absolute by the squirt. When I finish this, I'm going to... so I'm making a fair amount, so I can then take a gram of it and add it to different clouds and see what suits it best later, and possibly even. Okay, seriously going for it. Well, that's nice. It's maybe it doesn't like roses. Maybe the camera's grandmother used a certain kind of film that smelled of roses. Okay, 2
I think
grams.
the sooner I format this memory card, the better.
Right. Okay, last thing for today then is that I am going to put in 1 gram. I mean, these are tiny amounts for professional perfumers who just, their perfumers' organs just get filled up overnight when they're not looking, and they can use whatever they like. Although they're large amounts if they're then told that their budget has to be small.
Mm-hmm.
These are large amounts for hobby perfumers who are taking it up and don't have serious amounts to spend on their materials. But I'm somewhere in between, in that I have enough to work with, and I need to use materials to work with them in order to get an accurate idea of what's going to smell like if I make it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I got Scenthusiasm to work with. So this, of course, not perfect storage because it's transparent and it's got a lot of oxygen, and I've got a lot of air, of which much is oxygen in the space on the top. So I won't be keeping it in that, but it did look pretty to work with.
Yeah, it's a nice prop.
Okay. I did, by the way, make this chair squeak quite a lot.
Didn't notice because I was so enthralled with the conversation. I wasn't being sarcastic. It sounded sarcastic. I really wasn't.
It did, didn't it? Yeah. I'll let you know.
This is really, really nice.
The company by a
See them.
seagull. Or just a gull. They're not seagulls, they're gulls. They're London gulls. It's squeezed the Melissa out though, hasn't it? So we put the rose in, and the Melissa's gone, hey,
It
I'm
has.
here being all citrusy.
You're right. It's gone more Melissa-y than it has rosy,
Yeah.
which I like, obviously.
But But that's why experiments need doing, because you think you know what's going to happen, and something completely different happens because it's perfumery.
Can't wait for you to add the lang lang.
Well, unfortunately, Arthur, you will be waiting a lot.
Sorry, not lang lang. I meant the benzyl salicylate. This is really nice.
It smells sort of good for you.
It does. It smells very herbal.
Yeah.
And also, the planet that I'm seeing is a giant. I feel like they're always on this planet. They're always threshing.
It's late summer.
It's late summer. It's a winter's tale. It's the end of a winter's tale.
It is something which needs a goodly while to sit. I don't like the phrase "goodly while." I don't know why I said it. It's an unpleasant cliche.
Goodly while.
A goodly while.
Never heard of it.
No, it just means a long time, doesn't it? So, it means yes, a suitable amount of time, but it's going to be It needs to sit. It needs to decide who it is and who its friends are, and whether or not Melissa's going to shut up again. Melissa's being a bit noisy here. And then Melissa was always going to be the troublesome one.
I would love to see it I would love to really get a very powerful microscope and see it, because there is a reaction happening in there right now. They are reacting.
But also, it's not necessarily happening in there. It could be in here, because it's the rose. There must be something in the rose. It just sneaks up your nose and goes, "You know what's more important? That is."
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's Noel Coward's mother going, "Get to the front. Get to the front. Go on. Get to the front. You get to the front. Go in front of all those other boys and girls. Everybody wants to notice you." Mm-hmm. I shall call it Melissa Coward. And yet, giving it a while, the Melissa's calming down already.
Yeah.
Because it's very top notey, it's very out the front, it's just fallen off the front of the stage, and everyone else is getting their chance to shine. And now it's going more, what else did I put in it? And where have I lost it? Helichrysum. Is it gone? Here it is. Here it is. Yeah. It's
herbal honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
It smells very natural, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I have to bung in some aroma chemicals to make it smell like perfume. Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll do for today. I mean, it's what I do. It's just that I have to keep doing it over and over to see where we land. Rose.